Start out, things are crazy, they're wild, you have an amazing sex life, and then all of a sudden, the lady in the relationship stops being freaky, stops being horny, and the opposite kicks in. So today, we're going to talk about how you can make sure that this doesn't happen to you, and that if this did happen to you, what you can do to reverse the trajectory. So this is for the partner in the relationship, and it's for the woman experiencing this, right? So the first one, I want you to go on a journey with me. Imagine going to your favorite restaurant every single day, right? You love it. And then to top it off, you have the gooey cake at the end of it. It's a fantastic thing, right? But imagine that you have that every single day. You would stop looking forward to it, right? So the number one reason this happens is overkill. Sex may be great between the two of you in the beginning, but because it's so great, you wear out your welcome and you overdo it, right? So here's one thing that I want to say about overkill. Overkill depletes number two, which is dopamine. Dopamine is the passion hormone. You have to have a lot of passion in order to keep the sex drive going, right? So dopamine is about anticipation. If you know where you're going to the movies for movie night, you know what restaurant you're going to afterwards, you know what positions you're going to try later, you know all of that. There's nothing to anticipate and nothing to look forward to. So even though in the beginning things seem like, wow, we should just be having sex every day, you want to ration sex like you ration all of the other magical things in your life. And two reasons for this, not just for her, but if you happen to be in a relationship with a guy, if he preserves it and reserves his magical moments for special occasions, then he'll last longer and you will crave it more, right? So that's two things. The third thing is irritation. Eventually over time, if you're doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it well, eventually she starts to get irritated down there. So if you're a lady and you happen to suffer from irritation after multiple rounds of orgasmic play, one thing that you can do is keep raw apple cider vinegar close by, put it into a warm bath, soak in it, and the irritation starts to dissipate. So that's another reason why the sex drive starts to wane over time. It starts to be irritative. And anything that irritates you, eventually you start avoiding it. So less is more. You should be begging for it and wanting it, and as opposed to, oh gosh, are we supposed to have sex again today, right? So the next part of that is that, generally speaking, somewhere between 45 and 75% of women say that they can't even orgasm during penetrative sex. So in order to take that off the table so that she enjoys it each and every time, instead of pretending like she does or even just laying there, you really want to wait to penetrate until she's begging you for it. That will decrease irritation, that will improve the chances that she wants to go at it again, and you don't have to do as much work. The work is done before penetration, right? Then the other thing I want you to keep in mind is that over time, anything that you do over and over again depletes dopamine. And I want you to vary up everything that has to do with your relationship. I want date night to be somewhere new, movie night to be somewhere new, and I want you to bring novelty, newness, and new positions to the mix of things so that she never really knows what's about to happen, which breeds anticipation, which then brings the dopamine and the passion all together. So then the other thing that I want you to know is that if you accept the excuses early on in the relationship, oh, I have a headache, oh, I'm tired, oh, I worked all day, oh, I don't feel like it. If you really set that up and you set the tone for that in your relationship, those excuses will become your relationship. And you will start to feel bad even asking for sex from your partner, right? So early on in the relationship, once the excuses start, you've got to lay it on heavy and thick. Some people are going to be mad at me for this, but you love her so you don't push, right? But imagine thinking back in time to when you were a kid, right? And your parents never gave you a nudge to learn how to read, never gave you a nudge to get better at math. Well, you wouldn't be an entrepreneur. You never would have learned how to read, and everything would have falling apart. So in relationships, the partner with the lower sex drive oftentimes needs a nudge. So don't be afraid to nudge. Don't accept all of the excuses early on into the relationship, because I see it happen over and over again, because those excuses become the norm, right? So lay it on a little thick, find out what they want, find out what you can do in terms of a commodity exchange. What can I give you so that you want to give me pleasure? And lay that stuff on thick. Excuses early on in the relationship become the relationship later on, right? So now that you know all of the reasons why this starts to happen, I want to equip you and your partner and you in general with the skills necessary to make some changes in this. So one thing, with decreased sensitivity, increased irritation, low sex drive, one thing you always want to do is check your medication and check with your doctor, because antidepressants, even Advil and Aleve and allergy medicines can all dry things up down there. Yes, they can. They suppress the parasympathetic nervous system, turn the sympathetic nervous system on, and everything becomes dry. You get dry eyes if you have contact lenses. Your nose dries out, and guess what else dries out? So that's one thing. Next, adjust your diet so that it's rich of polyphenols and antioxidants so that you can better use the hormones that are available, fight inflammation, and boost testosterone levels. So the best way to boost testosterone levels to get your sex drive up is eating from the earth and not from the bag or the box, right? Because there's too many preservatives in there. Then you also want to start with a vaginal rejuvenation regimen. Right? Check your hormones. Make sure you're getting enough of what you need. Make sure you had some apple cider vinegar on deck to change the pH towards a positive way so that the good bacteria can live down there. Then you want to get on a very decent probiotic that's designed for women down there. Then you want to increase the amount of water, the amount of fiber, the amount of nutrient-rich foods. But then let's talk about some supplements that you could potentially start on, right? One thing to keep in mind is that Tribulus will help boost testosterone in not just men, but in women too. So consider talking to your doctor about adding Tribulus supplement and maca root. Maca root helps with sex drive for men and women in the ancient Andean culture. This was a fertility starter for both men and women, and we still use it in those valuable ways. The other thing is making sure you're getting enough zinc, make sure you're getting enough magnesium and omega-3 fatty acids and protein. If you can't get animal-based protein, try to amp things up with the plant-based protein. So the 4 reasons, you've got them. We want to fight them. We want to increase the dopamine levels. We want to bring novelty into the relationship. We want to stop wearing it out so that there's less irritation there. And then to rejuvenate the sex drive, one, bringing the novelty will help with that. But the other thing, to improve the quality down there so it's juicier like it used to be back in the day, you want to go through a vaginal rejuvenation that you're basically doing in your own bathtub at home. You want to change the pH and get yourself back balanced down there by adding a little acidity to your bath water. Then you want to take things up a notch by improving the quality of the bacteria there. And then you've got to play with yourself. Playing with yourself at least 3 or 4 times a week, studies indicate that it boosts your sex drive. And if you think about it, it makes sense, right? Because now all of a sudden it is stimulated down there and you actually start to walk and feel a little more turned on and a little more moisture down there. And that's exactly what we want. And for my favorite device for improving sensitivity down there and bringing the blood flow back would be a device that has a suction vibration to it, right? You put the suction and vibration motion on the clitoris and blood flow increases, moisture increases, and that is a big part of the rejuvenation. Another part of the rejuvenation is adding in a moisturizer to the area so that you're actually improving the moisture naturally and rejuvenating the tissue. But you also need a little bit of that moisture when you're using the device, right? So all of these things to help bring back the juiciness that used to exist there, and to make it so that instead of saying no, 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 you're actually saying yes, yes, yes. So for more information, you want to follow me and use the links below to actually access some of my smoothie recipes. Our E-Function smoothie recipes are designed to help bring blood flow and moisture back to both gentlemen and ladies. So check it out.